Hello, Carl. Can you hear me okay?
Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome. It's good to
Hey,
see you again or hear you.
what's up?
What's
A
going
little
on out
early.
there? What's happening? You're out in Oregon, right?
Yeah, it's fall out here.
All right. Yeah, we had here in Ohio, we've had a lot of drought conditions. So instead of our leaves turning color, they're just hitting the ground.
Same here.
Yeah. Yeah. We just had a lively discussion before you came on board here about Columbus Day. Do you have an opinion one way or another whether we should celebrate Columbus Day on Monday?
Well, it's kind of really not that big of a deal now. It's kind of irrelevant in today's discussion as far as I'm concerned. But that being said, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Christopher Columbus. I'm not a big fan of Columbus Day because it's all based on lies to begin with.
Yeah, we were talking about like what to do with it. Should we just have just a basic holiday where everybody can take a day off since we all work hard?
Well, it kind of is what it is. It's kind of like
Yeah,
Christmas. Is Christmas really the day that Jesus was supposedly born?
yeah, yeah,
There is actually information out there that that's not the case, but it is a day that we celebrate. So, we're not going to get rid of Christmas. So I guess why would we get rid of Columbus Day when they're both based on the same kind of
yeah,
stuff?
yeah, yeah. Well, let me switch the topic on you real quick. I wanted to ask you these polls that show Trump and Harris close to tied. Do you believe in those polls?
I do not. And I've said this many times on here before. The polls are skewed. The polls are, it's kind of like the news is right now. They keep on trying to say, Donald always is trying to say that the news is left leaning and left. But we all know that's bullshit. We got eyes, we got ears. We see what they're doing. We know what they're doing. So, that being said, there are polls out there that the Trump administration's people actually pay for. People that have worked in the administration, or people that used to work for Trump, or people that still do. These are people who operate some of these polls. They're skewed. They're bullshit. Okay, the polls are not the facts. The registration, the primaries, the voting. That's the facts. And we see what's happening across the country. As in 2022, Trump is not winning anywhere.
Right. I don't know if you saw it. I did a study of the primary votes of all the primaries, but especially the swing states. And I took the number of votes that Trump actually got and divided them into the number of registered voters in each state. And Trump only got anywhere from 5%, maybe as high as 14% of the vote.
Correct. And turnout wasn't that great.
Yeah. So
Which even says more on Trump's numbers. They're actually smaller than they want you to believe.
yeah. And I was thinking of two angles on this. You probably have some more insight, but first of all, the media angle, they want to keep it tight so they can keep their ratings and revenues as high as possible. And
That's
the other
one.
is the political side. Both parties want you to think they're tied so you stay motivated into sending money and campaigning for each side.
That's why Trump is doing exactly what he is doing. So you'll keep sending him money. He's got no winning strategy. He's got no game anymore. He's been outed. He's outed himself. But it's the great grift. He's just, it's sad to watch, but he's ripping off his MAGA crowds again, just to keep himself afloat.
Donald
Yep.
Trump is a liar. That's number one. We have to understand that a poll is nothing more than a snapshot in time. You have to look at methodology. How many people did they call? Who did they call? When did they call them? Were they at work and they only talked to Democrats? So a poll is not the end ball. The only poll I listen to is on November 5th. That's the only relevant poll we should pay attention to.
Exactly.
One more
And
thing.
go ahead.
One more thing. They're keeping it tight, because they don't want a repeat of 2016. They do not want us.
Paul, where do you go?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I was going to say real quick, if somebody wants to speak, be sure to raise your hand, and Sandra and Alex are going to keep track of the hands raised. Go ahead, Carl. I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Yeah, the polls were the exact same in 2020. Trump was leading. Trump was going to win. It was Biden was losing. Blah 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 blah. And Trump keeps on telling us that he got the most votes of all presidents ever in the history of America. Well, that may be true, bud, but Biden got 7 million more votes than you did. That's the facts. Not all your bullshit polls, not all your bullshit numbers. See, there was going to be a red wave, and there was going to be a big win for the Republicans. They were going to win in a landslide because Trump was getting all these votes and all these numbers. Well, guess what? Look what happened. He lost. And he lost by a landslide. So he may have gotten the most numbers of any sitting president running for president, but the actual person running for president, he did not. That was Joe Biden.
Yeah, I don't think there's any disagreement with that. And Carl, do you think that what grade do you give to Harris' campaign? How do you grade them on their campaign so far?
A minus, A plus. Not an A plus. Nobody gets an A plus. But
A minus, though, you said immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, that they're doing very well.
And,
shoot, man, she's raised $1 billion. A fucking $1 billion. Speaking of nothing that nobody's ever done in a presidential campaign, Donald Trump, $1 billion. You couldn't touch that with your buddy's poll.
I don't think that's what they mean by poll, though.
No, and that's why I always spell it P-O-L-E. They're more interested in those polls than they are in the actual fucking polls. Here we are talking about Stormy Daniels again, another poll. I mean, come on, man. Come on.
Did Stormy endorse Harris?
I'm not sure if I'm sure she has, but I have not. I don't pay attention to that. I don't.
Yeah, we do.
I know this. I know this. She ain't for Trump, so.
We do
That's
have
sure.
How many votes is the Taylor Swift endorsement worth?
Oh my God, millions.
Yeah, it really is. Isn't it?
I said this before. In the United States, she has a fan base of 58 million people. And then just imagine if only half of those voted, and we know that's not going to be the case. Yeah, she's got that generation locked up, man. Locked up. The influence of the daughters, right? The Swifties who are daughters. What kind of influence do they have? A lot. Yeah. A lot. Yeah. How many friends do you have on Facebook or somewhere that like old guys that put up pictures of themselves at the Taylor Swift concert? Right. Yeah. It's kind of funny because I've been following Taylor since she was a kid. And I've said this before. I liked her when she was 14 fucking years old. No, wow. I'm not a dirty old man. But I liked her. I liked her tenacity. I liked her spirit. I liked her songwriting. She wasn't a great singer. We all knew that because she was 14 years old. She wasn't Delta Dawn, I mean. But what she did was buck the system. She took on the Nashville. Slowly but surely, she took them on. She stood up for herself. She didn't let them control her. She did it her way. And look at her now. Top of the world. Top of the world. She did it her way. She didn't let the industry ruin her life or run her life. That's what Nashville tried to do. That's why you got all the bullshit about her being not talented and can't sing and blah, blah, blah. Jesus Christ, man. Tears on My Guitar was an outstanding song. Wow. So you actually... And it wasn't just because of the song. It was the words. It was the meaning. It was what came out of that.
That's
And
impressive.
I've been following her, what she's been doing in the music industry ever since. And this is why she pissed off people like Kanye West and everybody else in that world, because she had the audacity to stand up for herself and not be part of the establishment.
Wow. You actually can name a Taylor Swift song and quote Taylor Swift lyrics. That is really impressive. Most of these Swifties for Harris I've talked to can't even name a single song, but they love her anyway.
Right.
Nice.
They like the beat, the music. They don't necessarily, everybody doesn't always listen to the words, but they really should.
Yeah.
Because
I assume you
words
grew
help
up.
people.
Yeah. Carl, I assume you grew up with rock music. Is that a fair assessment?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Like the hair band era. Yeah. That's me.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha.
Heavy metal,
Awesome.
rock and roll.
A little bit of rock and roll. Absolutely. That's where we're at here. We've got a great crowd here already. I see 234 people in this room. So they're here to listen to you, Carl. People love you. You've done a great job. You've influenced people and you've provided a lot of support. I hear from a lot of people that you have picked them up. You have lifted them when they are down, when they're unhappy, when they're worried about politics, when they're stressed out with politics. You've done that job. That's something to be proud of. You put that feather in your hat. That's impressive as a political influencer. So you've got your people here, man. You've got the open mic. I don't know what you want to tell them.
Well, it's it's kind of sad because there is absolutely so much to talk about, just so much, covering a wide variety of things, but definitely what we're going through, and definitely the global implications, and definitely transnational organized crime, which has always been my mantra. In order to deal with all this, they must be dealt with and taken down. Well, my God, they are being taken down.
Yeah. We've got a lot of good people in America today. We've got Paul. Paul got a question for you. So let's get right to work here. Paul, which state are you in?
I'm in Michigan, and
Cool.
I just want everyone to know that I have already voted my absentee ballot. I voted for Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, and every Democrat that I could. And here's the point I want to make about voting. If you don't know if they are Republican or Democrat, leave it blank. I would rather leave it blank than vote for a Republican by accident. As far as criminals, there's only one criminal that I want to see wearing an orange jumpsuit, and that's Donald J. Trump. I still haven't forgotten, January 6th, when they were beating our police officers with the American flag. And as a former Marine, our oath is to the Constitution, not any political party or person. And that's what needs to be said. J.D. Vance should be ashamed that he wore the uniform of a United States Marine. It's an embarrassment.
Absolutely.
I am a former
Marine. Of all the people who should uphold their fucking oath is Marines.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, Paul, for your service. And thank you for voting. Sandra, our co-host here, is also from Michigan. I personally just love Governor Whitmer. I'm a huge fan of Gretchen Whitmer. And I want to get to Bad. What do you think, Bad, about, if you don't know if they're Democrat or Republican, just leaving the ballot blank? What do you think about that statement?
I've done that myself in the past. If you don't know somebody, it's best not to.
Yeah.
Because you might make a mistake.
I'm thinking that the United States is now 42% black and brown people. They don't want to vote for old angry white guys that are going to be racist. They don't want any part of that. They're going to be pretty honest when it comes to a lot of this stuff.
I'm pretty sure the average American doesn't want anything to do with this anymore.
You got it. Well, Paul's got his hand right back up. The Marine. Let's get right back to Paul. Hi, Paul.
Hi. Well, I wanted to agree with you. This is what scares those on the right, is the old white guy is a thing of the past. Our nation is going through a major change, and it's becoming more black, more brown, more female, and that scares the white men in power. They
Very
don't want to
true.
give up their power, and they're not going to give it up with a fight. Right now, they're lying, they're cheating, they're trying to look at Trump. Everything is a racist trope. He's trying to scare you. Oh, the black man's coming to get you.
Yeah, it's kind of like the dog getting stuck in the corner on false pretenses. They believe that they're being wiped out when the reality is they're wiping their own damn selves out. They're
Yeah.
destroying themselves. They've gone so far right, they're destroying themselves.
Exactly.
Right in front of our faces, man. They really are. We've heard them say that they're scared of losing their identity. That's what all this heritage bullshit's about, man. Losing their identity. They're afraid that the white man won't be able to rule anymore and won't be able to blah, blah, blah. You know what? Sometimes you got to get along to go along. And you got to face reality, man. The more you do this, the more you isolate yourself.
Exactly. And that's why that Project 2025, that's just a manifesto to take us back to the 1800s where women didn't have the right to vote. Black and brown people were property. And, they would even like to go back to the 1700s where only white men who owned property had the right to vote.
13 colonies, original 13 colonies. Look at old Mr. Donald Trump's Bible. They have the 13
Is that
but they left out the 14th, the 15th, the 16th, the 17th, or whatever. It's because they want to go back to the original. That old Plymouth Rock didn't land on me, or I didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on me. That old saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Oh, exactly. That's why Donald Trump has a copy of Mein Kampf on his nightstand. That's his Bible.
Pretty much. Not that he's ever read it.
Oh, he hasn't.
I'm sure he's gone through it, but I mean, when you read something, you got to comprehend it. I doubt that ever happened with him.
I would bet every dime that I am worth that he has not read the Bible. He cannot quote one scripture.
No, he is not. He doesn't believe in the Bible. He doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in Christianity. He's not a Christian. He even admitted it, but people just want to ignore the fact that he said it. He's never been a God
study their
person.
Bible.
Never.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the mob goes to the Catholic Church for freaking. I mean, they live on the Catholic Church. Not me. Not Trump. You think he's ever been to a Catholic church on purpose?
No.
Oh, it's by accident.
But we got to get rid of this guy. He's got to go. He's history. He's toast. Get him out of here.
We all know he's done. You see, that the biggest problem is this ain't all about Trump. And I've said this 1,000 times, and I've been saying it for years. We're not fighting Trump. Trump is the great distraction. We're fighting a machine. We're fighting
exactly
a huge operation, a global operation.
Yeah.
That's what we're up against. We're not up against Trump. Trump's going down. They don't even want Trump. Why do you think they got J.D. Vance in there? They think that everybody's going to vote for Trump. He's going to become president, and then they're going to kick his fucking ass to the curb.
That's the plan.
Yeah, Carl, I was going to ask you about this. General Flynn and Bannon, those guys going around the country having seminars behind the scenes. Have you been following them?
Somewhat, but it's for me, it's just all fucking noise.
What have you been
just
following?
Fucking noise. I realize that they got a lot of followers and a lot of people behind them, but holy crap, man! Wait, Payne is coming for Flynn.
Yeah.
Payne is coming for Stone. And Payne is coming for Bannon.
What are you following, Carl?
What do you mean?
I don't know. What's getting your interest these days? What news items? What political shenanigans? What are you on top of these days?
What am I not on top of? I pay attention to the global more so than the local. I believe that we're gonna win this election. I believe we got this.
Yeah.
I don't see how we can lose it. I don't see how Trump has a chance to win anything. I mean, he's lost every fucking buddy. He's lost the GOP. I mean, if you really think about all the people that are turning on him, it's massive. It's fast. It's massive. He's lost the unions. He's lost the women. He's lost. I mean, all he's done is lose. His rallies are shrinking. He's getting smaller. It's collapsing on himself. And they know this. They really know this.
Yeah.
As I've said before, it's the criminal aspect of this whole operation that is desperate to hang on. Desperate.
Yeah.
Well,
But they've
Carl,
gone so far to the right that their desperation is backfiring and blowing up in their proverbial faces.
yeah, Carl, do you have the same optimism that we're going to recapture the House and get some sort of majority in the Senate?
I do.
Yeah, I said you don't follow local very much, but I've been watching Tester in Montana and our own Sherrod Brown here in Ohio. His opponent got tired of running ads about the border crisis and fentanyl coming into Ohio and killing everybody's babies. They've switched now to transgender issues. They're running 24/7 commercials. Transgender men in sports are killing women. Transgender people are going into girls' bathrooms and raping them. Those are the type of ads they're running on TV now here in Ohio.
It's kind of sad, and it's none of it's fucking true. None of it. Absolutely none of it. It's sad. The transgender population is so minuscule and small. It's unbelievable that they even use this as a weapon. They've blown past the LGBTQ community back. So they're just trying to go as far left, I guess you could say, but it's actually right. It's a bunch of BS, and we all know this. It's scare tactics. It's that they're coming to take your guns, they're coming to take your jobs, they're coming to rape your wives, they're coming to do this and that. The Haitians are. I mean, the whole bullshit story is just that bullshit. And the best part about this is people are actually realizing this, and those people that are pushing this shit are now being held accountable. Some of them are even getting indicted. Some of them are going to be getting indicted. Some of them are just so tied to this that those ties are coming out. You know what ties I'm talking about, right?
No, which ones?
The mob, the TOC, the big boys.
Oh, okay.
The IDU, the Coke machine, those boys, the big boys.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah, it does sound like the I call them Republicans have taken on the mob
Come on, man.
mentality.
The Republicans are pushing shit that they are. How many of them are gay?
Yeah, they're pretty good at projection, aren't they? Besides
They
hypocrisy.
absolutely are, to distract from the fact that they are. They want you to think that everybody else over there is. But the reason why they do that is so you will accept them. It's kind of like projecting their problems on everybody else, so you look at everybody else's problem. Then they'll come back and say, see, look, everybody else does it. Everybody else is like that. Everybody else is blah, 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 blah. It's kind of like the criminal aspect of this whole fucking thing that the Trumps are doing, trying to put everything on the Democrats, so that one day you'll be able to say, well, yeah, he's right. They do it too. So what's the big deal? That's the whole thing. It's just, it's so stupid.
Carl, what are you going to do after the election? What are you going to be talking about?
That's a good question. I haven't figured that out yet.
Well,
I mean,
Carl,
I'm still trying to freaking move, and I've still been going through all the stuff that I've been going through at home. And I mean, here I am recertified again for this whole fucking mess once more. Not that it's going to be a problem or anything, but I've had a lot to deal with here. Once the election is over, and now that we're so close to it, it's kind of like I can't do anything now until after the election, because absolutely most of my future relies on this election.
Right.
And it
Well,
relies on Biden winning or Kamala winning. Because if they win, I lose. I lose my housing. People, everybody in this, it just my building. Everybody loses their housing. The people that run the place lose their jobs. The whole apparatus falls a fucking apart.
I know that you want to move out of your apartment in Portland, and I know that you need some help and have a GoFundMe, and you don't want to talk about it. So I'll talk about it. Just everybody go check out Carl's profile and do what you can, man. It's greatly appreciated. Um, that said, I also know that you're on the fence about doing a podcast where you would clearly be a superstar, like you would do really, really well.
And I understand that, and there's a big reason why I don't.
Yeah,
It's nothing personal to any one person that wants me to do them. It's not about turning people down or not part. It's about me keeping my profile as clean as possible without all the distraction and the drama. And
yeah,
I've noticed there is so many people out there that do podcasts, and a great majority of them are just not that good.
yeah,
And they get used; those get used against the people that are running them. So I don't want to give anybody the opportunity that I may look like that I side with this group or that group, or I have this, because I do my best to keep myself unattached to any organizations or any groups or any. I am me, myself,
yeah,
and I don't attach myself to Democrats or Republicans or Baptist or whatever. I just don't do it. And a podcast kind of ties you down into that.
though
And
you can do
it's
a
used to attack people too. And I just there's
yeah,
just an overabundance of out there. That doesn't mean that I won't do one in the future once I get settled in whatever happens after the election with me. I do plan on doing one, and things
yeah,
will be a lot different then. The bad guys will be quiet; they'll go away or indicted or arrested. Blah 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 blah.
yeah.
It'll
I
all
mean, I gotta totally agree with you, and I actually do the same thing. In our climate group, we have no funding, no money, no alignment with nobody. But a podcast can't be done completely independently.
This
That's
is
so
true.
you
It can be
wouldn't,
done on YouTube or
yeah,
any other
um, on
platform. It's
Spotify
very
or
true.
wherever you want, or just
And
on a
I
website.
also wonder about where this platform is going to wind up and what's going to happen after the election with this place
Yeah,
that we call home.
sweet Jesus. Yeah. Why don't we say hi to Eddie over there in Iowa and see what's on his mind?
I want to just add
Yeah,
this.
sure.
With the time that we have left for the election, I just want to concentrate on that right now. And
Okay.
once the election is done, I'll be able to tell all you guys what I'm going to do in the future. I'll have an idea of where I'm going, where I keep my housing or I got to move on. I got to find another way to finance myself or whatever it is, whatever the case is. I got to wait to the election because it has a lot to do with my personal future. And surely for a lot of veterans and a lot of homeless people and a lot of people that are in these housing programs. Because if Trump becomes president of the United States, it's all gone. VA, gone. Department of Education, gone. So that's where I'm at right now.
I totally agree with you. And let's stick with the election with Harris Walz up and down the ticket, Sherrod Brown, everybody. I don't know if Eddie wants to say hi, our pal in Iowa.
Hey, yeah, I appreciate you giving the call. Thanks a lot, Carl. I seen you on Space probably when I first started going to these, hosted by Mike and Alex, and some of the things you were saying back then was a little like a good learning tool when it comes to the way you followed official and different sites that are out there for the DOJ, the FBI, different federal departments to be able to actually see and give accurate information what is happening. I put it to use for my own peace of mind during when we got struck. Not in Iowa, but when the Southeast got struck by Helene, and then with Milton, to where you can actually go to the National Guard, actually go to these places and get the real information that you need, not just float and repost and throw pictures out there and stuff like that, but actually get information that's useful at that moment in time. And I think that came a lot from that earlier space I listened to when you literally brought this up. You really said this is the things that you look at every day. You get up and you study the stuff that's coming out, and that's one of the reasons I quickly followed you, just because of like, this is coming to get some deep experience in this, and in these days, just like everybody's saying, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. And yeah, you're right. The best thing to do right now is stay focused on the election. But boy, this goes a lot deeper and a lot farther in the world. And that's what I like about stuff you talk about. It encompasses the international scene and everything that come into play that's influencing everything that's happening here at this moment in time.
Absolutely.
But I just want to let that out there for you. And yeah, you're always going to be listened to. And I think that's the best thing about it is open up your ears and start listening. I appreciate the effort and time you put in and the service you put in and everything like that. It's really great that there's somebody out there like you. Thanks a lot, Carl.
You're welcome. It's like it says in my bio, man. I'm bringing you the facts as facts as I can, basically, and no drama. I chose that mantra a long time ago for a reason. I didn't want to get into all the arguments and the opinion pieces and all that stuff. I just wanted to bring the truth of what's really going on as best as I could. Do I always get it 100% right? Well, does anybody? But I do. I work my butt off to make sure that it's truthful. And if it's not, I'll get rid of it. I'll cop to it. But the reality is the truth. It's not a version. It's not an opinion piece. It's not my ideology, which nobody knows, by the way. It's none of that. It's just bringing you the straight truth of what's really going on, not just here, but around the globe, because it is global. This was and is a global operation. It's by world leaders. I mean, it's crazy, but it's not, like I said, it's not just Trump. Trump is a vassal. That's all he is, a useful idiot. Whatever you want to call him, he's just a tool for a greater thing that's happening to our country.
Exactly. Look to Wall Street.
And it's not just our country, it's democracy as a whole. That's the fight.
Correct.
So if I bring you bullshit, get sidetracked in arguments and all that stuff, it distracts from the reality that we're living. I try to make sure that we don't venture off into all of these rabbit holes and these fucking bullshit stories and the conspiracy theories and well he said, she said, and all that crap. I don't do that.
Yeah. So here we are. What do we got? 26 days until the election.
Yeah.
And it's stressful, man. It's like a Hitchcock movie.
It's super stressful, but I said this a long time ago, man. It's going to come like a fucking flood, and it's going to keep coming, and it's going to keep coming. Just like their distractions and their bullshit, it's going to keep coming, and they're going to get louder. They're going to get louder over the next 26 days.
I think a great thing,
there's also
Carl.
A lot more that's going to come out in the next 26 days, too.
Yeah, October surprise. Yeah. A great thing with veterans, with vets, as young people, getting that discipline training. Vets know when things get stressful, they know what to do. Like you guys have been trained to deal with tremendous stress. And it's a way where you guys really help the community as leaders to show us, you know, as things get more and more stressful, you know, how to tie the shoes, how to make the lunch, how to get your sleep. And as you say, how to have no dramas. I mean, we don't need to get in a huge fight here over some dumb detail. That's about the worst thing we could literally do, would to be get into a huge soap opera over whether.
Well, that's why the drama is created. It's to get you to go off on these little tangents, and distract you, to take you off message, to take you off your game, to take you out of your whatever it is you're trying to put out there. They want to bury that. So they come and attack. They come and trash you. They come and whatever. They come and just bombard you with bullshit. And unfortunately, that works with a lot of people. That's why we got the leave Twitter thing twice now. So is it 3 times? I mean, 2020 it happened. Now it's happening again in 2024. Everybody's got to leave because it's all falling apart. Well, we're still here. We're still fighting. We're still moving forward until the world falls down.
Exactly. As a climate environment activist, my group is completely committed to Twitter until the end of time. We said that years ago. So we don't even have to make that choice. It's not even an option.
I said the same thing 4 or 5 years ago. I'm not going anywhere unless
There you go.
until the wheels fall off, basically.
Exactly.
Or Elon kicks me to the curb.
Are you anywhere else in the digital universe or just on Twitter?
I'm just on Twitter. I mean, I put my name on about 6 or 7 5 sites just so I could keep my name.
Right. But you would, if Twitter collapsed, you could find us elsewhere.
Yeah, there's other, like I said, I'm on the other sites. I just don't use them. I just planted my name there so the trolls and the idiots can go take my name because they sure as hell tried to take it here on Twitter.
Right.
Russia,
but I mean literally, Carl, if Twitter collapsed, like was gone, you could join me and Mike on Clubhouse and we can continue the discussion. Or some such, or Spoutable or something. The exact a format just like this, the same thing. We would just carry on. There are
options.
Yeah.
But I don't look at it that way. I believe after the election we're still going to be here.
Right. I think so too. 99% chance that Twitter will still be here, and I think we will win the election. I think we'll be rather happy and cheerful. But you said you wanted to talk about the election and now and defeating Trump, that we got to preserve our democracy. Did you see the video of the woman who thought that the Democrats had made the hurricane and launched the 2 hurricanes in North Carolina and Florida? Yeah. Did you see that video?
Again, just the stupid BSQ crap or the conspiracy theories. We get this every 2 or 4 years. Same shit, same story. They don't got nothing new. They got the same bullshit. And they're losing traction.
They are, but the level of stupidity didn't surprise you. Are we overestimating their intelligence?
Yeah.
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 I mean,
like I said, it's just noise. I mean, come on, man. Right. It's just noise to get you to pay attention to that bullshit instead of what's really going on. It's like
I've been
it's kind of like on here on Twitter. I've seen this 1,000 times. Every time the Department of Justice does something really big and really good, there are the naysayers and the distractors to bash and trash. Every freaking time. And this last one was no different. All the naysayers come out. Yeah, well, he's not doing this, and he's not doing Trump, and he's not taking care of this, and Christopher Wray is this, and Garland is that. Well, it's all distraction. It's all bullshit. I don't pay attention to that crap. I actually pay attention to what Wray and Garland are actually doing. Literally what they are doing. Not what they're saying, what they're doing. And what they do or what they are doing is literally blowing me away. It literally is. They are doing some huge, huge things that go unnoticed. Take our trolls, for instance. I mean, take the whole KKK Act operation part of this whole fucking thing. It's paid attention to. It's being dealt with. The mob. My God, the DOJ has been just pounding away on the mob, pounding away on cartels, pounding away on crypto idiots, pounding away on look what they're doing to Google. They're doing to Meta. They're doing to they just open up against Apple. I mean, come on, man. They're dealing with this stuff head on in a huge monster way too. But most people don't see it because of all the bullshit distractions that we get from the right. People like Trump, people and his friends and his cronies and his idiots that surround him. You know, it's kind of funny. Last week, one of those people in Donald Trump's circle decided to follow me. And I'm like, okay, so this tells me that things are really getting interesting, aren't they? They're getting scared because so many, I said this a long time ago. If you have any connections to Russia in any way, shape, or form, whether wittingly or unwittingly, go see Jack. Go to the FBI. Go tell somebody. Otherwise, you're part of the problem. And that problem is getting dealt with. All the connections with the Russians, come on, man. It's flowing like Niagara Falls. But everybody's missing it because of the bullshit that we get fed day in and day out on these social media platforms. But the reality is transnational organized crime is being taken down around the globe. The implications of that are massive. It's actually gotten us to the brink of a world war. This is what the Biden administration, the DOJ, Interpol, the International Criminal Court, United Nations, Europol, all of them, they're trying to stand up against and push back. This ain't easy because it ain't Trump. Trump is just a tool, people. That's all he ever was. Faction number 1, faction number 2, faction number 3. And oh, by the way, about the factions, you see what's going on with the churches, right? Faction number 2, Opus Dei finally getting called out and charged. Holy crap, that's huge. And Opus Dei, well, Leonard Leo, hello. William Barr, hello. This is who we're up against. Well, we are taking them on. Are y'all still there? Hello?
I can hear you bad.
Oh, there we are. It went dead there for a minute. So anyways, that's the gist of this whole damn thing we're in. It's not just Trump. It's not about just Trump and his idiot cronies. It's what they're tied to and who put them there and who they got to kowtow to. They're all owned by Vlad. We know this. Donald Trump is lock, stock, and barrel owned by Vladimir Putin. Owned. And unfortunately, Donald Trump has failed Vladimir Putin. Failed him. That's not a good place to be, bro. That is not a good place to be. And it was kind of interesting to see Putin call Donald Trump out for his ventilators and shit. It's like, oh no, you did it, bro. That's true. I said, oh shit. And then we look at what's going on with Kadyrov and all that crap. Whoa, boy, is it blowing up in Russia. So anyways, we're up against a large machine, folks. I call it the Coke machine, but it's actually bigger than that. They're just one faction of it. They're the ones affecting our country the most, unfortunately. Well, you see what the international community is doing. It's kind of like, but same with both Bibi and Putin. They're done. They're tired of it. They're kicking everybody to the curb. They're holding them accountable. The world community is done with the Russian mob. We're just done. Tired of it. Fed up. And the average American, unfortunately, doesn't know this and can see this. And I get it, because most people got jobs and lives and everything to pay attention to. People don't spend all their life on Twitter like, unfortunately, I do. I mean, most people just don't pay attention to the big stuff, so they don't know it. Then they come to Twitter and they're all, oh my God, what is all that? Because it's hard. It's hard to wrap your head around, man. It's so big. It's not your neighborhood, man. It's not your community, your state, or even your country. No, it's the planet you live on. No problem. All right.